I am very excited to be returning to Boston, Massachusetts, particularly because of the time of year that we are visiting, because now I can say I have been to Boston in the fall. A reference to Kosciuszko, Mississippi, on the Natchez Trace. Today's adventure begins at the Boston Common, which is America's oldest public park. The Common was once used for cattle grazing, but also for training for the British militia. It has also been the site of hangings and duels. It continues to serve as the site for public celebrations, such as concerts, ice skating, and Shakespearean plays. We are revisiting not only the paths of our previous visit, but also the paths of history as we walk the 2.5-mile red brick Freedom Trail. We began our experience at the Boston Commons Visitor Center, where we acquired information and a very handy city map. Construction on the Massachusetts State House was completed in 1798. The Golden Dome is one of Boston's distinguishing landmarks, but it wasn't always gilded. It was originally built of wood. Paul Revere and Sons were commissioned in 1802 to cover it with copper to prevent water leakage, and in 1874 the dome was gilded with 23-karat gold leaf. On July 4, 1829, abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison gave his first public anti-slavery address here at the Park Street Church. 2 years later, the song "My Country 'Tis of Thee" was first sung on the church's steps. Granary Burying Ground was so named due to its proximity to Boston's first granary. It is the final resting place for Bostonians such as John Hancock, Samuel Adams, the 5 Boston Massacre victims, Paul Revere, Mother Goose, and others. King's Chapel sits on land that was ordered seized by King James II in 1686 for the purpose of the construction of the church. The King's Chapel Burying Ground is Boston's first burying ground. It is the resting place of several Boston notables, including Mary Chilton, who is believed to be the first woman to step off the Mayflower. The artwork is interesting. Look at the
skull.
The creepy ain't. In front of Old City Hall is a mosaic titled City Carpet, which marks the site of the first public school in America. Nearby is a statue of Ben Franklin that was erected in 1856. Unveiled in June of 1998 is the Boston Irish Famine Memorial, which intersects the city's Freedom Trail and the Irish Heritage Trail. It honors the arrival of Irish immigrants to Boston and recognizes their contributions to the city, including the contributions of Anne Sullivan Macy, who was known as the gifted teacher of Helen Keller. This site is also a part of the Boston Women's Heritage Trail. Perhaps one of the most famous meetings held at the Old South Meeting House was on December the 16th of 1773, when over 5,000 gathered to protest the tax on tea. The first female African-American published poet, Phyllis Wheatley, was also a full member of the meeting house, and an original copy of her work is on permanent display.
Lion and the Unicorn.
Located in front of the old State House is a ring of cobblestones that commemorates the Boston Massacre, in which 5 men were killed in the clash between colonists and redcoats. Faneuil Hall earned the nickname Cradle of Liberty because it was here that Bostonians met to rally against the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, and the landing of British troops. After the Revolutionary War, Bostonians continued to meet at Faneuil Hall for the anti-slavery speeches of William Lloyd Garrison, Wendell Phillips, and Frederick Douglass. Additionally, the women's rights movement, early temperance rallies, and nearly every war since 1812 have been debated within these halls. It's definitely actively used. It's just so often.
What are you doing? Gonna sit beside and talk to him?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, I'm gonna back up and film it. Oh, your arm around him and everything.
So tell me all about it.
Located just a few steps off of the Freedom Trail is the New England Holocaust Memorial, founded by Stephen Ross and erected in 1995. Each of the 6 glass towers symbolizes a different extermination camp and are engraved with the numbers representing the 6 million Jews killed during the Holocaust. The Bell in Hand Tavern was established in 1795. Its first owner was Jimmy Wilson, Boston's town crier for 50 years, hence the name Bell in Hand Tavern. The Green Dragon Tavern is claimed to be a secret meeting place of the Sons of Liberty, as well as where the plans to invade Lexington and Concord were overheard, leading to the midnight ride of Paul Revere. In the courtyard beside the Old North Church is a war memorial. The hanging dog tags are not engraved with names, but instead represent every soldier who has died in military conflicts in America since the September 11th attacks in 2001. An action that is widely regarded as the spark that ignited the American Revolution was when Sexton Robert Newman hung 2 lanterns from the steeple of the Old North Church on April the 18th, 1775, to signal the beginning of Paul Revere's ride. Robert Newman's final resting place is in the Copp's Hill Burying Ground. Due to its prominent location overlooking the Boston Harbor, this site was also used by the British to aim their cannons at Charlestown during the Battle of Bunker Hill. Walking the Freedom Trail in Boston is an amazing experience. It helps bring alive history where you can actually see the places that these events occurred. But one of our favorite places along the entire experience is the USS Constitution, nicknamed Old Ironsides. If you would like to join us for a more personal visit to Old Ironsides, please check out our separate video. For now, we're going to enjoy a little holiday fun as we make our way to Bunker Hill. That's great. The Battle of Bunker Hill actually took place on Breed's Hill. Original orders were to fortify Bunker Hill. Some believe that the soldiers bypassed Bunker Hill in the dark. Others believe it was a deliberate in-your-face to the British troops type of repositioning. There is also little evidence to prove the validity of the famous quote, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes," although this quote has made it into textbooks and even into the video game Assassin's Creed. Also, interestingly, the patriotic obelisk at the top of the hill is a rare monument to American defeat. The British won the battle, but they sustained twice as many casualties as the Americans and lost many officers. The true victory lay in the American patriots proving that they could hold their own against the superior British army. The monument was closed during our first visit to Boston, so we were really excited today to get the opportunity to climb 294 stairs to the top, where we were rewarded with beautiful views of the surrounding city.
You can see the USS Constitution just right over there.
We took a little more time on our way back to Boston Commons to enjoy the architecture and the Halloween decorations, as well as taking the opportunity to indulge in a little 80s pop culture.
I got the Fraser's chicken panini, and he got Sam's turkey sandwich. Oh, and some, Sam Adams Oktoberfest, of course.
There are so many historically significant places to visit in the Boston area. Some of these include the Plymouth area, which is to the southeast, as well as Lexington Concord, where the first shot was fired that was heard around the world, Louisa Alcott's home, and Henry David Thoreau's cabin site on Walden Pond. We hope you'll take a look at our exploration in the Plymouth area, as well as join us tomorrow as we explore Salem. We'll see you later.